but haven't managed to use it yet? Yeah, a few of you. So both of those of you who do use it and those who haven't used it yet, I want you to just think what caused you to take that action. What caused you initially to take the action to load that app on your phone, and then secondly, to use it, right? Because what Uber's been doing for quite some time has been doing what's called influencer marketing. And I'll tell you a little story about one of the influencer marketing campaigns. Uber announced that on one particular day, in cities all around the world, it was offering to deliver kittens to workplaces. So deliver the kittens, and so the workplace had the opportunity to play or cuddle a kitten for 15 minutes. And it was a campaign that was done in collaboration with the local cat protection societies, and the kittens were up for adoption afterwards. Now, if you wanted to book a kitten at your workplace, you had to do it through the Uber app. So the first thing you would do is download the Uber app if you didn't have it already, and then you'd have to use the app, experience using the app to book a kitten, right? Not a car, a kitten. What has this got to do with transport? It's all about kittens. So then the kittens are delivered to your workplace, and they're delivered by an Uber driver. So you at your workplace get to cuddle a kitten and meet an Uber driver, and you've used the app. So you can see it's already starting to, getting people kind of comfortable with this new technology. Now what happens if you drop a kitten off at someone's workplace? Kittens are either cute or very strange looking. So everybody's cuddling the kittens, taking pictures of them, videos of them, and uploading them into their networks. So Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, on their blog. Right? So we've got a network of activity all around Uber Kittens with the hashtag Uber Kittens. And everyone went crazy and nearly broke the network. Now, if you'd never heard of Uber, on this particular day, you're looking through your newsfeed and you see a lot of your friends playing with kittens and talking about this thing called Uber. So you're going to get introduced to the brand. It might cause you to say, "What's that?" And then you'll be told by somebody who you know. If you've already got a perception of the brand, what it does is it changes that perception, right? You thought the brand was one thing, and now you're thinking, oh, this is, they look like fun, and, my friends are involved with this, I might give this a go. So what Uber did, it activated everyday influencers with that Uber Kittens campaign, Kittens on Demand. So what I want to talk to you about today is the principles of influence. So the principles of influence that you can use to build your influence. I want to talk to you about growing your network, so growing your referral network, and then the third thing about using other people's influence. So why do we care about influence in the first place? One of the really main reasons why we care is because we are so deaf now to advertising messages, right? We're deaf to traditional advertising messages. We're deaf to online advertising messages. We either actively don't hear or see them, or, as in, we just don't see them. We call it ad blindness. So in my industry, we call it ad blindness, where I was moving ads around on websites to try and, deal with ad blindness. But the other thing is we're just not open to them, right? We might also be using technology like ad blockers so that we get ads out of our networks, out of our browsing. So the thing about influencers can get cut through. So somebody who influences me, I'm likely to listen to, right? If they tell me that I should do this or that I might be interested in this or that, I tend to take that action, right? I'll give you an example. My daughter is, like many other teenage girls today, her main interest is in makeup. I wish that she applied as much time and effort in educating herself in maths or anything else as she does in makeup. She's a true expert. She studies and follows a number of online influencers, YouTube influencers about makeup. Now, when they say this product is essential, she buys the product, right? It happens in a very short time. They say this product's essential, she buys the product. Even if she might have a product that, from my point of view, is very similar. So those of you with teenage girls in your households will know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And it's not advertising. That is the power of influence. And there's a whole industry in that area, in makeup area, that has been built on influence. So influence grows influence as well. Influencers tend to have a waiting list, so people will wait to see that particular person because that's the person who they trust. So, you know, I guess the main thing that we think about, because there's so much noise in our world, is that influencers get cut through. So that's both yourselves as influencers, people who you follow influencing you, and other people who you can connect with to take advantage of their influence to reach the ears and eyes of the people who you want to reach. So back in the day, who had influence? You know, the influential person was, you know, somebody who liked to share information and somebody who was connected. They may or may not have been a subject matter expert, right? People who would talk a lot to others and who knew something were influencers. I used to work at the Sydney 2000 Games Organising Committee, and we would need to spread some information throughout the organisation, right? Information that maybe you didn't really want to write down, send as an email or write in a memo in an organisation like that at the time. So one of the things that we did is we'd identify who were the influencers in the organisation, and we would just happen to have a conversation that could be overheard by that person, knowing full well that the information that we needed to distribute throughout the whole organisation would be very effectively distributed that way. No need for email, no need for memos, right? So that was then. Today, influence changed somewhat because of social media. So we have amplification as well. So the everyday influencer today looks like somebody who still likes to share information, still is a connected person, but they have the amplification of social media with them as well. So what I did for this talk is I did a bit of research to see what was going on online for brokers, what people were saying. So I went to Twitter and Instagram and I typed in #ILoveMyBroker into the search bar. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for people who have used that hashtag or those keywords in a post that they've made on either of those networks. It's called social listening. And it's doing that kind of research is available to everybody, and I suggest that you do. All you need to do is go into the network, type in your keywords, and you'll find what people are talking about. So I was looking for I Love My Broker. What I found was that in 2009 there was a campaign run by an organisation encouraging people to use the hashtag #LoveMyBroker. So there was a lot of stuff from 2009, but that wasn't really what I was looking for. I was looking for something that wasn't to do with a campaign, that was just a person in a network saying how much they love their broker, and to see whether there was a number of people who were saying that and what kind of influence that might have had. So here's 3 examples that I found, and these are pretty recent examples. So they're not the ones from 2009 associated with the campaign. Now I think the one that's really interesting is the one in the middle, right? So what happens with this is that she's saying, can I say how much I love my mortgage broker? And I love my mortgage broker is in bold there because that's the keywords that I typed in. So it's going to bold the keywords. And she says, @Angela Calla, right? So that's calling out her broker. Now, if I wanted to, I could click through on that link and it would take me to her broker's Twitter page and I could follow her broker, right? So we've got Angela, and then she says she calls her out twice. So she's saying, you can connect with my broker, and I'm giving her a recommendation. Now let's have a look at who's saying this. This is Jen U2 is the Twitter profile. So here's Jen U2. So all I need to do is click through on Jen U2's link, and I get taken to her Twitter page. And what we see, Jen U2 has 4,000 followers. That's pretty decent influence in my book. 4,000 is good. And 15,500 tweets, right? So she sure does like to share. Now, that makes Jen a pretty powerful everyday influencer, especially when she's saying to her whole network of 4,000 people that I love my broker, can you say the same about yours, right? It's pretty powerful. So that's everyday influence. Now, this could have been even more powerful for the broker if the message had been repeated. Now, why? It's the nature of the networks. Like, you know yourself, how many of you here are on LinkedIn? Everyone. Almost everyone, right? If you go to your newsfeed in LinkedIn, you can see how quickly that changes, right? How quickly posts are pushed down as new posts come into your news feed, right? It's a pretty fast moving thing. It's the same with Twitter and Instagram. And so although we might scroll, you know, you're not going to find posts necessarily that were published, you know, 6 hours ago or an hour ago, depending on how many people you connected with there. I know myself, I was looking for a post that I wanted to share over friends, and, you know, he rang me up and said it's there. I couldn't find it at all. So it's, there's a necessity to repeat the posts, right? Because your post is going to be seen by people who are looking at the home feed or the news feed at that particular time, right? So if you posted it, you know, at 10 a.m, you can post again at 12 p.m. You can post again at 2 hours later. So Jen U2's post about how much she loved her broker, if she had repeated that post, right, a number of times, then that would have been even better for her broker. So for you, when you're thinking about posting in your networks, a tip that I want to give you is post frequently. If you've posted something that's important and good, then post it again, right? So that you're going to catch those eyeballs who missed it the first time. The other thing that Jen's broker could have done with that post is to repost it, right? So she could repost it into Twitter, so then it's getting seen in her network as well. And she could take a screenshot of it, and then she can post it in Instagram and Facebook as well, right? Now, you might say that's a bit uncomfortable. Jen's just blowing her own trumpet. No, not at all. Not Jen. The broker's kind of going on. Not at all. People would just go, oh, congratulations. You know, and she'd say something like, great to get an endorsement from one of my clients. So when somebody says something like that about you, make sure that you leverage that everyday influence. Use it again. So you want to repost it in the network that it was posted in originally, screenshot it, and post it in other networks. You know, I don't think it's a bad thing to whack that kind of stuff in your newsletters as well. And if you've got, you know, somewhere where you post nice things up, letters and things that you receive for your from your clients, print it out and put it up there as well.